The audio should be working. Let me see. I'm gonna test it on my phone. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know what happened. Um, okay. Hello, beautiful people. I hope everyone. That's obviously not the right one. I'm testing the audio on my phone to see if it's coming through because it. See if it's coming through. Okay, it's coming through. All right, so we do have audio again. Thank you for bearing with me. Once again, I do apologize for the technical difficulty. I don't know what happened, but I'm working to fix that. I don't know if I need to invest in a new microphone, what I need to invest in. But basically, I'll restart so this video will have everything that we talked about before. This is Dope for Degrees Community Scholarship Chat. It is November 24th, 2019. We do this community scholarship chat every single Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to have a 30-minute conversation with the world about how you can earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. I graduated debt-free from Virginia Tech in May of this year, on May 17th of 2019. That's right, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships. And just in case you don't know what Dope for Degrees is, Dope for Degrees is Dope for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where we teach students how to win scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. So I'll drop the link to Dope for Degrees website once again. Also, Perry asked a question. He asked, how many scholarships did I submit per day? Or he or she, asked the question, how many scholarships did I submit per day? And I want to reemphasize the fact that it's not about how many scholarships you submit per day. It's more so about how many scholarships you submit over the course of a week. And so if you're only submitting one scholarship per week, that's not a good average. A great average is to average submitting about 5 scholarships per week. Now, that's a fantastic average. That's something that's going to require a lot of commitment and dedication to the process of earning scholarships. To be honest with you, I averaged about 3 scholarship submissions per week. That was my average. I had a lot going on when I was in high school. I did my best to juggle everything. When I got into college, I didn't have enough scholarships, but I was able to pay for my college expenses with some earned income through part-time jobs, Dope for Degrees, and also I was still applying for scholarships. So I was maybe putting in 10 to 15 hours. I think the max amount of hours I put in when I was in college per week were 20 hours per week in the scholarship process. Now, when I was in high school, I was putting in about 40 hours a week, and I was really dedicated to it. Plus, I didn't know what I was doing, so it was all trial and error. So I had to take my losses in order to get my wins. But that process taught me the importance of resilience and also just figuring things out as you go. And so if you're looking for a program to teach you step-by-step what you need to do to win scholarships, then you should consider investing in our Scholarship Success Program. That is a program I'm constantly revamping, going in, tweaking, where we teach students how to start from 0 scholarships to enough scholarships to graduate debt-free. And that is not something that's easy, but it's something that once you have the guidance of someone who's done it, it's more attainable, if I said that correctly. Forgive me if I didn't, but it's an investment. You're going to have to commit to the process, and that's one of the biggest things. And we talked about that last week, having a standard of excellence and also operating with a mindset of progress, not perfection. If you haven't seen that live, the last Sunday live, please go watch that. But in the meantime, today, I do want to reiterate the fact that if we dropped 6 videos the combination of the past week and earlier today, to catch back up because we failed to drop 3 videos the week before last. And so I was catching up. I promised 6 videos. So all 6 videos are up. The majority of those videos are FAQ videos. And what that means is they're frequently asked question videos. They're questions people ask me a lot in emails and phone conversations at conferences and speaking engagements. And so right now is the scholarship season. People have a lot of questions. And so I just want to drop as many of those videos that are helpful. But if you want more of a process to take you step by step and help you with your scholarship journey, you consider investing in that program. I will give you all a 10% coupon code that you can use at checkout to save $25 when you check out. And that just dropped that promo code in the what's up, Cab piece for the Scholarship Success Program. Let me drop that note. To save 10%, to save 10% at checkout. And the beautiful thing about that program is that it's a one-time investment. So you invest in that and I'll become your scholarship coach for the rest of your life. Like if you still are applying for scholarships when you go to get your master's or your doctorate, the program isn't designed for students who are going to get their master's and doctorate. It's designed for students who are going to get their bachelor's. And so, like I said, I'm constantly revamping and reiterating that program. And so that could be a good investment for you. Another thing I want to say is that right now, if you haven't submitted your FAFSA already, please go ahead and do that. That is a very important piece to you earning scholarships. We also have an FAQ video on our channel about why you should submit the FAFSA, even if you don't think you qualify for financial aid. The beautiful thing about it is many scholarships require proof of submission to submit the FAFSA. Now, not all scholarships do, but many do. Okay, so you just want to have it knocked out because you never know what can come from you having done it. Sometimes you may win a state grant or a grant from your institution because you submitted your FAFSA on time and you beat the priority deadline for your school, the nation, and also the state. So that's something you do want to submit regardless of what your financial status or your income is. Another thing I want to talk about is when it comes to editing your scholarship essays. And this is something that a lot of students struggle with. They think that they should submit a scholarship. Their first draft of their essay should be the one they submit. No, that's not the best route to go. When you submit a scholarship essay, you will sometimes have 3 to 4 versions of that one essay. Writing is a process. It's not something that's done rather quickly and then you can check it off a box. When you submit a scholarship essay, you want it to be a quality submission. It's not as much about quantity. It's more so about quality. Are you submitting a quality scholarship essay? I'm trying to get my lighting right because I don't feel like it's bright enough. Are you submitting a quality submission? So you want to eliminate a few things. Let me touch on what you want to eliminate in your writing. Grammatical errors, punctuation errors, and you want to make sure that it has continuity. So does it make sense? Does it flow correctly? Not all scholarship essays that you submit the story might not be told in chronological order. Sometimes it may be told in an order that best answers the questions as they're stated in the prompt, what have you. But whatever you do in your scholarship essays, there's a video I just dropped yesterday, I think it is, called do I have to be a good writer to win a scholarship, to win scholarships? No, you don't have to be a good writer. First of all, you have to know what the definition of good writing is. And good writing has 3 characteristics, and I listed them in this video. And so you definitely want to take some time to check that out and watch that video. And the reason why is because if you can look at your essay and say, yes, it has these 3 characteristics, then you're in a good position to most likely win. When you write a scholarship essay, it's all about persuasion. And it's more so persuading someone to invest in you than to tell your story and make them cry. It's not about that. It's about persuading them. It's the same process you'll go through when you go to get a job, or if you're a business owner and you're trying to get investment funding. It's the same process you'll go through. You're pitching yourself. You're telling them who you are and how they can potentially get a return on their investment. When you apply for scholarships, that's all you're doing is you're pitching yourself. You're telling them who you are, what you can potentially do, where you come from, your goals and aspirations, and hopefully they will choose you. Now, when you invest in someone, you often look at, okay, cool beans. I'm not going to say your username, but okay. When you look at someone, you often say that, yeah, your physical appearance, your ability to convey a message, the way you speak, your tone of voice, that attracts my attention. I am already intrigued by you based on your outside appearance. And so when a scholarship provider, they may not see you physically until you come in for a scholarship interview. Or most times the case for me was I didn't meet my scholarship provider until I went to the reception ceremony, until I went to the award ceremony for that scholarship organization. And so what happened was on the outside, how they will see your appearance from the outside is they'll look at your social media. And so if your social media is crazy, you have half-naked pictures up there, you're cussing, you got the middle finger emoji, all these different things. If it's not professional, you're going to disqualify yourself. Scholarship providers, and they're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to choose people off their race, gender, sexual orientation. They're not supposed to discriminate, basically. And I hope they don't. But with that being said, they're less likely to choose someone who's already shown that they don't know how to conduct themselves on a public platform than they are to choose someone who does. And so there are 2 ways you can conduct yourself on social media. You can take the approach I take, which is basically to have a professional appearance. I don't use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram anymore. I don't post on there. But when I was on there, you wouldn't see anything crazy or wild to make you go like, whoa, Danielle, what are you doing? No, you would see a professional appearance. And the second thing you could do is lock your accounts. If you know you talk out of pocket, and you wild out on social media, lock your accounts and make them private. That's not to say someone can't get around it and use a friend to see what you do, but I mean, that's your way of protecting yourself. It's better just not post it, and then it can't come back and bite you later. So Perry asked, how many scholarships did you win during your senior year? During my senior year of high school, I applied for more than 30 scholarships and won 14 of them, totaling more than $100,000. And so I technically won $100,000 in scholarships in 5 months, Perry. During my senior year of high school, and that is 2015. I graduated from George Washington High School in Danville, Virginia in 2015. And like Perry's doing, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop a comment below. Let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have. The reason why I won all those scholarships, but I didn't get to take all of them to Virginia Tech. And the reason why is because some of them were tied to me going to another institution. Like I applied to go to Temple in Philadelphia and Howard in DC, Temple University and Howard University, Hampton University in the Tidewater area of Virginia. And when I chose to not go to those schools because I chose Virginia Tech, I lost a lot of the funding, aka scholarships that I had earned based on the financial aid awards they were offering me. And so the best way to get around that process of you losing funding because you choose not to go to a certain school is for you to win outside scholarships. And those scholarships are tied to you instead of them being tied to you going to a particular institution or majoring in a certain field. And so those scholarships take more work because they're harder to find. Those are the scholarships you find in your local community, your church, the small businesses. There are national scholarships. We're working on one right now through Doe for Degrees, the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation Scholarship. And so I'll drop the link to that. If you haven't already seen that video, there's actually a playlist. We have a playlist called Scholarships on our YouTube channel where you can find more information about the scholarships we're going to talk about. In this playlist, I'll probably focus on one scholarship every other month, and that'll be a scholarship that I break down. This is how you should apply for it. These are some things you should consider. You should consider before submitting your application. I'll take it that way. I'll take that approach and focus on it that way. If you do want a bigger list of scholarships, you can use the contact tab. I'll drop that too. You can contact me, and I'll be more than happy to give you a list of scholarships that you can use. I add 25 new scholarships to this list every single week. And so this may be a good option for you. But contact me, pick the time that works best for you, and I'll be more than happy to give that to you. In addition to that, I will say this time of the year, if you haven't submitted FAFSA, go ahead and do that. Check out the new videos we dropped. It's the holiday season. Should you submit scholarships over the holidays? Now, this is a question I hear a lot. People say, oh, it's break. I'm done. I'm not doing school. I'm not working on schoolwork. I'm not working on scholarships. I'm done. That is one of the worst decisions you can make. And I dropped a video within one of the 6 videos that we released within the last 48 hours or 24 hours, whatever, about submitting scholarships over the holidays. If you need money for college, you need to submit a scholarship or several scholarships over the holidays. When you have holiday breaks and just breaks in general within your school schedule, your class schedule, life itself, that's a time for you to double down and get more work done in regards to finding funding to go to college, because you're not being pulled in so many different directions. You don't have to go to class, so why not submit more applications? And I'm not asking scholarships to consume your entire break. That's not what I'm asking, because granted, if you didn't work on scholarships, you would probably be spending time with your family, watching TV, spending time with your family and on social media, spending time with your family and talking to your friends. So you're going to figure out how to do multiple things during your break, spending time with your family and sleeping, whatever the case may be. So why not spend a couple hours while you're on your break working on scholarships, and more than a couple? Just put in a good amount, whatever you can devote to scholarships each week, a good measurement when you're trying to figure out how many hours you should spend on scholarships over the holidays. With how many scholarships you typically submit a week, or based on how many hours you put toward the scholarship process each week, double that. If it's 10 hours a week, put in 20 hours while you're on your break. If you submit 3 scholarships per week, double that while you're on your break. Submit 6 per week. It's only going to help you get ahead, because if you don't submit the scholarships, you can't win them. So why not put in the work now and try to get ahead? Once again, if you have a question or comment or concern, let me know. We have 10 minutes left for this community scholarship chat. I dropped a video too about how parents can help their students win scholarships. This is something I've been running into a lot frequently as parents who want to apply for the scholarships for their students. I can't tell you what to do. I can't stop you from doing anything. But as someone who went through the process of applying for my scholarships myself and no one applied for them for me, it's not right. And you're not teaching your child how to have integrity when you apply for the scholarships for them. You're taking away their opportunity to learn how to manage your time, how to become a better writer, how to build relationships. And I've seen this happen to students. What's up, TMH? Peace. I hope all is well. I've seen this happen to students is where they tell their parent to submit the application for them. They go in for a scholarship interview and the scholarship committee starts asking them questions based on the information they provided within their application and their essays, and they can't answer the questions, or they answer the questions and they don't align with their original statements in the essays and the applications. They're like, so did you really work on this? And they're fumbling and trying to say, yeah, I did. I just forgot. I didn't review it. Well, two things that you should do in that situation. If you didn't apply for the scholarship, just tell the truth. Just say, I'm sorry. I know this isn't professional. This isn't a good reflection of my character and integrity, but I didn't do this. My mom did this. And so I don't even think it's right that I go ahead with this process. You can go ahead and cancel me out of the running. I don't even want to earn something that I didn't do. I didn't work for. That is a very courageous and honest approach. I mean, tell the truth, because they're going to know off bat whether you did it or not. But if you confess and tell the truth, then you at least save yourself save face some type of way. And the second thing you should do in that case, as always, anytime you have a scholarship interview or what have you, sometimes I would do this before I went to my scholarship award ceremonies or receptions. I would read what I wrote. And in order to do that, you would have had to make a copy of your submission prior to turning it into the committee. And so you always want to keep a copy of what you submitted for a scholarship prior to turning it in. And then on top of that, you also want to read it and review it before you go to an event for that scholarship, before you meet the scholarship provider, before you, before you go to an interview, all these different things. You want to make sure that it's fresh in your mind so you can answer any questions they have, or they may bring up a statement and say, I can't believe you really endured X, Y, and Z. And they're only going to know as much about it as you told them. And so just refer to it. It's just a good way to keep up conversation. Always know your material like the back of your hand. It goes back to what we talked about last week when I talked about having a standard of excellence in everything you do. Those are the main things I want to cover in this scholarship chat. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them. Once again, I'm more than happy to answer them. What I will say in addition to that is that what's coming up new with Dope for Degrees, we are closing out the last quarter of the year. And so we're really working on product development, getting things automated as much as possible and centralized before 2020 comes so that we can take on a new load of clients and manage them better and better each time. It is a process in business and it requires progress. Same thing with scholarships. It's a process that requires progress. There are certain steps you have to take. The only way you'll be able to take the next step is if you continue throughout the process. So that means you can't quit. You have to be willing to take the next step, whether you're scared or not, and make progress. With that being said, that's coming up. So we're working on new products. I am working on the Dope for Degrees Online Academy. I don't know if I mentioned it to you all before, but Dope for Degrees will have its own school. We'll have an online school as soon as possible. I've been experiencing a few hiccups with that, but we're working through it. It'll probably be, I want to get it out before the end of the year, but if not, you'll see it in 2020, the Dope for Degrees Online Academy. And that'll be our school where we'll teach scholarship courses, and it'll automate and centralize a lot of the things we do so our clients will have better experiences with applying for scholarships, learning how to win scholarships, and actually earning the scholarships. In addition to that, what's new? I don't typically take speaking engagements in December. That's not something I usually do. I usually take that month to reflect, wrap up the year, process, think about my next moves in business and life. But my schedule is open. And so if you know of an opportunity or a community that you would like me to speak to in whatever area of the country, don't forget that you can check out our website, the events tab of our website. If you're looking to book me for a speaking engagement, that we also have upcoming and past speaking engagements listed on our site as well. Don't forget, I'm also going to be teaching at the College of Southern Maryland in February of 2020. That's February 1st and February 8th. I'll be teaching a course called College Without Student Loans. I'll be an adjunct professor at the College of Southern Maryland in La Plata, Maryland. And so that course is something you can register for. If you go on the upcoming and past events, let me drop that tab. The link to learn more about the opportunity is linked on that page as well. This is something I want to touch on too, because I know a lot of people have questions about this. When you're applying for scholarships, you need to have a team of people who are helping to support you and encourage you and to push you forward. This process is not something that's easy done alone, but it's great when you have a support system because you're going to be working through a lot of rejection. You won't win every scholarship you apply for, but you have to have people who encourage you when you don't feel like you're strong enough for the process or that you'll get the results you want. You also want to have a team of people who will edit your essays, people who will take the time out of their schedule to review your essays and fix any grammatical errors, punctuation errors, what have you. And so definitely find your English teacher, your mom, your dad, whoever in your circle who has some time, they're willing to devote some time to reviewing your essays, and sit down with them and basically have a conversation and say something like, hey, will you take the time to review my essays? They say yes. When's the best time to get them to you? How much notice do you need? How much time do they need in advance to review it and get it back to you? And how would you like me to give you a copy of my essay? Is it okay if I share it with you through Google Docs where you can leave suggestions and comments there? Or would you like a physical copy so that you can mark it and give it back to me? Now, if they're going to do the physical copy method, it's probably easier if you all are close to each other, like you live in the same household, they live near you, you see them every day or something like that. When I was in college, one of my professors used to tell me all the time, always edit your writing on paper because you catch more mistakes than you do on a computer. And that's true. I've seen the difference when I edit my writing on actual paper as opposed to editing it through a computer. So it just depends on which approach is best for you. That's something to consider. And teamwork makes the dream work. If you have a team who's behind you to help you succeed, you'll go further. But if you're trying to do it by yourself, you may hit a roadblock. You have no one to lean on, no one to confide in, and then you're struggling. Don't forget, I'm always here to help you. I'm here. I'm investing in your success. You can contact me through the link I provided. It's up a few, but it says contact Danielle. It's on my website. Yeah, let me copy that link. Contact me if you need to talk about the scholarship process or anything you're struggling with. Don't forget to let me know. Another thing, if you're not doing community service, you should be doing community service. Community service is what helps you win the scholarships, because in your writing, you'll be able to talk about how you're selfless, which is basically what scholarship providers do. They're selfless. And so you want to be able to reflect the scholarship provider in your writing. Have the same characteristics, mimic their behavior by being selfless and being a person who gives to others without any expectation of anything in return. The more you can speak to that, the more likely you are to win. For me, my community service was heavily revolved around the Boys and Girls Club when I was in high school. I attended my local Boys and Girls Club in Danville, Virginia, my hometown, from the beginning of my sixth grade year of middle school until I graduated from high school. And I did community service every day. I was averaging about, I'd say 2 hours of community service per day. And so I had, in a week, I had maybe 10 hours of community service per week. And I knew it was documented. We had a community service log through the club, and I had my own community service log where I would do it, write it down, sign it, and keep my own records. If you don't have a log and you want one, you can get a free copy through Doe for Degrees. We're offering that through our April 2018 scholarship newsletter. Go ahead and download that product from our website, and it'll email it to you automatically. You can also, let me see. You also want to visually document. Thank you, TMH. Great point about the community service. You also want to visually document your community service. And so take pictures. Video is the best form of communication because it activates more senses. You can see it, you can hear it, and you can almost feel as though you were there. So you see the videos I create through Doe for Degrees when I recap a speaking engagement or I recap something like that. Have that type of content readily available for people to look at via links. YouTube is a great platform to do that because it allows them to see you in another space. And one thing I realized is it's all about telling a story when you're winning scholarships and applying for scholarships. The best one to tell a story is the one most likely to win, is the one who will most likely win. So if you tell a story and you just tell it through your words, okay, it may be the best story. But when you bring life to your story through video content and visuals, There's another element added onto it, and that only enhances the story. You know what it's like when someone reads a bedtime story to you and you enjoy it, as opposed to you actually watching a movie related to that bedtime story. It's another experience. And so the more documentation and proof you have, it edifies you, which helps to build you up and show that you are capable of doing what you say you can do, makes you more credible in front of other people, the more likely you are to win. One reason why Dough for Degrees is successful today is because I document almost everything we do. And so you can go back and watch where I was when I started the company in January of 2016, as opposed to where I'll be 4 years later in January of 2020. You can see the growth and maturation of the company. You can also go to the website and see a proven track record of where we've spoken, where we're going to speak next, our honors, our press, the people who've written articles about us, awards, all those things. It's on our website. So you get a snapshot of who we are as a company. You can see that. You can see our maturation and our growth. And that's what people look for. They look for growth and progress. They don't necessarily look for perfection. So once again, do your best in everything you do. Don't give up. Keep going. Push through. The only way is up. And the only way you're going to go up is if you keep going. Never quit. Never settle for less. The best is yet to come. If you have any questions or comments, contact me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you soon. Have a great day.